Hello everyone. Previous session we have seen about Cypress and running the first test on Cypress automation tool. So in today's session we will see about locators. So what is locator and what is the importance of locators in test automation? So locator is used to identify web elements on a web page. Then action will be performed. So in test automation, whenever we write any test case and we execute that test case, we basically perform actions on web elements. So let's say I want to log in on the screen. I want to perform login action. So before login, I have to first identify the element in which I can put my email. Then I have to identify the element in which I have to put password. So after identifying that element, I can pass the email in it. After identifying the password field, I can pass the password in that field. And then I can locate the sign in button, and then I have to click on that sign in button. So these are the steps involved. So identification of element is very important, and locator is used to identify the web element. So on any web page, if you want to identify the element, we have to first locate that element, and then only we can perform certain actions on those web element. Locator concept helps in locating and interacting with the web elements like button, text field, drop down, etc. So web page can have multiple elements like input fields, it can have buttons, it can have drop down, it can have links, and so on. So whatever web element we are going to interact with, the important step is we have to first locate that element. And to locate that element, we have to use locator. So every element has some locator, or we can write the locator for that specific web element. So in various automation tool supports different type of locators. In Cypress, by default, only CSS selector is supported. In Cypress, by default only CSS selector locator is supported. We can also use XPath locator in Cypress, but we have to use external Cypress XPath plugin for that. So by default, directly Cypress does not support XPath, but by using external Cypress XPath plugin, we can also use XPath in Cypress tool. And what is the command which we have to use to locate the element? cy.get. So this is the command that is used in Cypress to locate the web element. So cy.get, and in which we have to pass the locator. That locator can be CSS selector. So in today's session we will see about CSS selector, and in next session we will see about XPath. So by default Cypress supports CSS selector directly as a locator. And these CSS selector are basically can be created by using multiple combinations. So CSS selector we can create by using tag and ID, tag and class, tag and attribute, tag, class, and attribute. So these are the four type of CSS selector combinations we can use for locating the web element. And also please note that tag is optional. So we can only use ID as well. We can only use class. We can only use attribute, and we can use class and attribute combination. Tag is optional. If you provide, then also it is fine. If you don't provide the tag value, that is also fine. And we can write the CSS selector by any one of the option from above. So now let's see one application in which we will perform some demo on CSS selector locators. We will see all these combinations of CSS selector, and we can locate the element by using this combination of CSS selector, and we will perform the action on those elements by using Cypress. So I will just open one application. Let me open one application. So this is the application. It is a username, password and login button. You can see on this web page username, password and login button. We can pass username as standard user and password as secret sauce. So if you pass this to use, so if I want to perform automation on this, what are the steps will be involved? So first we have to locate the username field. In that field we have to pass this parameter, that is a username. Then we will locate the password field, and in password field we have to pass this password, and then next action is clicking on login button. So I will simply click on login button. So after login button you can see the screen. So what we will verify as a end point is, for assertion we will use this element. We will check if this value is coming as swag labs. If it is displaying, that means we have successfully logged in. So these are the steps we will verify, but our main focus is to check CSS selector locators. So I will just log out, and now let's try to find out CSS selector locators for username, password and login button. So I will just inspect it, and we will use these in our test cases. So first I will simply show you how to locate element by using CSS selector. So if you see, first one, that is combination of tag and ID. So we will first see CSS selector by using tag and ID. So for username field, so I will just go back to Chrome. I will press Ctrl F. So if you want to, I will just highlight this username, and this is the HTML code for this username field. What is the tag name here? If you see, input is a tag name. So syntax for writing CSS selector by using tag name and ID. If you see, input is a tag name and there are some attributes like class, placeholder, type, data test, ID. These are attributes. We can see ID attribute also there. So first combination is tag name and ID. So what is the syntax for tag name and ID? If you see, if you have tag and ID, then we can use tag name, hash and value of that ID. So here if you see, what is the tag name? Input is a tag name. After that we have to provide hash and then value of ID. So user hyphen name is the value of that ID. That's it. So this will highlight username field. If you see, this is highlighting the username field. So we can use it as a CSS selector in our script. And tag name is optional here. So we can write like this also with tag name, or even if you don't write the tag name here, then also it will identify the element. This is also perfectly fine. So we can use tag name or we cannot use tag name. That depends on us. Right? So this is the first scenario where we can identify by using tag and ID. So this is how it will identify username field. We can use input, that is the tag name, hash, username, that is the value of ID. Tag name is optional. Even if you use without tag name, then also it is fine. Hash and value of ID. This will identify the username field. And we have to use cy.get command. Which command we have to use? cy.get command. This is the first combination. Now let's see another combination. By using tag name and class name. By using tag name and class name also we can identify CSS selector locator. What is the syntax for tag and class? So if there is an element which is having tag name and class name, then we can write the CSS selector for that, like tag name dot value of class. So I will just show you here. Let's try to identify this login button. Now let's try to identify this login button. So here if you see, this is the code for login button. So I will just highlight it again. What is the tag name here for login button? Input is a tag name. Is there any class name? If you see class equals to, this is the value for class. But if you see there is a space. If you see submit hyphen button space btn underscore action. So if you find out there is a space in the class name, we can avoid the second part after the space. We can only take this value. Even if you take this value, na, just we have to take, I will just highlight one more time. So I will just highlight one more time. This is the login button. So let's try to write. So I will just use Control F. Tag name is input. And for class name, if I want to use the class name, I have to use dot. What is the class name for this login button? So if you see there is a space, then we can only take the part which is before the space, that is submit hyphen button. So this is the class name which we can take, input dot class name. So it will identify the login button. So it will identify the login button. Also here is also tag name is optional. If you don't use the tag name, only dot and class name, then also it will identify. Perfectly fine. So we have seen combination of tag and class as well. So we have to use tag name dot class name, or we can avoid the tag name and only dot and class name. That is also fine. That will also identify the element. Now the third combination, tag name and attribute. Tag name and attribute. So again, I will just go back here. Again, let's check out for username field only. Now I will create the CSS selector by using tag name and attribute, any other attribute. So let's highlight the username field. What is the tag name here? Input is a tag. And what is the syntax? In square bracket, we can give any attribute value. If you see, placeholder is attribute, data test is attribute, ID is attribute, name is attribute. We can use any other attribute as well. So I will just use name attribute. So what is the value of name? User hyphen name. If you see, name equals to user hyphen name. So tag name, that is input, in square bracket we have to write attribute name equals to and value of it, user hyphen name. So it will identify the username field. So this is also one type of CSS selector by using tag name and any other attribute name along with its value. What is the syntax for it? We have to use cy.get, that is the command, tag name, that is input, in square bracket we can use any attribute name equals to value of that attribute in single or double quotes. So it will identify that specific web element by using combination of tag name and attribute name. And the last combination is tag name, class name and attribute name. We can use combination of tag, class and attribute. So here what will be the syntax is, we have to use tag name, after that dot, class name, in square bracket any attribute equals to value of attribute. So now we will see for password field. Let's try to write the CSS selector for password field using three combinations, that is tag name, class name and any other attribute. So if you see, this is the code for login button. What is the tag name here? Input is a tag name. Input is a tag name. Then we can use class name. So if you see, for this login button or for this password field, we are identifying the password field. What is the class name? Again, there is a space. If you see, input underscore error space form underscore input. So we can only take the first part, that is input underscore error. This is the class name. So tag name is input, then dot class name, and in square bracket we can take any other attribute as well. So for password, if you see, I can take, let's say, again name attribute. I will take name equals to password. So if I provide in square bracket name equals to password. So it will identify the password field. So this is the combination of tag name, class name, and any other attribute. We can use any other attribute as well. So this is the combination of tag name, class name, and attribute. So depending on the attributes present for that specific element, we can use any one of the four things. We can use any combination of these four. So sometimes tags, sometimes class name and tags will be there. Sometimes ID will be there. Sometimes some other attribute will be there. So depending on the web element, we have to select any other attribute. Our main goal is to locate that web element. So now what we will see, we will write the script by using these CSS locators. We will use script. We will write our script in which we will perform passing username, password, and clicking on login button. So now let's go back to Visual Studio Code. Here we have our project, that is Cypress Automation. In this we have E2E. In E2E, last section we have created our test file, that is the first test file which we have created in our previous session. Now we will create a new file here. So let's create a new spec file. I will just name it as CSS underscore locators underscore demo, and what is the extension which we have to provide for spec file, that is .cy.js. So .cy.js, that is the extension which we have to provide. Now we have created the spec file. What is the next step? We have to write describe block. Inside the describe block, we have to write it block. It block contains the test case. Describe block contains the test suite name. So I will just copy the syntax from our previous file. I am closing it. Let's paste it here. And we don't need two test cases. I will just remove one it block. So there would be only one test case. If you see, there is only one test case. I will just copy one more time, copying it and pasting it in our file. Control S, it will save the file. I will just remove one it block from this. So it will have only one test case currently. So in describe block, let's name it as my test suite. That is perfectly fine. And after that, this is the arrow function in which we have it block inside the describe block. We can write as many test cases inside the describe block. So we will name it as test case name as, let's say, verify login. So that is the test case name inside the it block. And then I will just remove this and we can write the test steps in this block. So here we can write our test steps. So first step is launching the browser and opening the web page. So for that, which command we have to use? cy.visit. So what we can do, cy dot, but if you see cy dot, if you type cy and dot, then we directly don't see the options, the various methods which are provided, right? If you see, we don't see the options which are there. For Cypress object or Cypress module, there are methods like visit and any other lots of methods are there. So we cannot see directly in it. So for that, what we have to do, we have to add one line in our spec file. On top of our spec file, we have to write this line, that is 3 slashes, and after that we have to provide one line like this. So in this we have to write just sorry, there is some network issue here. So I'm just, let me give me just couple of minutes. Yes. So to check the module methods, the one line which we have to add here is reference types equals to Cypress, and then this one. So if you add this line in your spec file, then after that, if you see now, if I put cy dot, I can see all the methods which are present for this cy object or module. So for this Cypress module, whatever methods which we can use, those will be directly displayed. Cy dot visit. So I can directly select this visit method, and after that I can put the URL here. So cy dot visit, which URL we want to open in our application. This is the URL. So I'm just copying it. I will put the URL here. This will launch and it will open the URL, open the web page. After that, what is the next step? We have to identify the username field. So we have to now identify the username field. So how to identify it? We can use CSS selector. So what is the CSS selector for username field is, we can simply use combination of any one of the four. So I will just use tag name, input, and ID. So for ID I will use hash. What is the ID for username field? User hyphen name. So this is the value of that CSS selector for username field. I am just copying it, and we can use cy.get method. cy.get, in this we have to pass the locator. So I will just pass the locator. So it will identify the username field, and after identifying the username field, what is the next step we have to do? We have to pass this value, right? So we have to pass this standard user value inside this username field. So we have to type this value. So for that also we have one method dot type, and in this we have to pass this value. So it will locate the username field and it will pass this standard user value in that username. What is the next step now? cy.get, we have to click on which button? We have to pass the password as well, right? So we have to identify the password field. So let's try to identify the password field. We will use combination of, let's say, tag name, class name, and any other attribute that we will use for password field. So again, what is the tag name for password? Input is a tag name. Then we will use class name also. Dot class name for this password field is input underscore error. Input underscore error, that is the class name. And we can use another attribute, let's say name equals to password. So we can use name equals to password as well. So it will identify the password field. So I'm just copying this CSS locator. Let's go back to Visual Studio Code, cy.get, and in this we have to pass this CSS selector. And again we have to type in it. What is the value which we have to type as a password? Secret underscore sauce. So let's put that value here. So it will locate the password field and it will pass this password value. After that, what would be the step? We have to click on the login button. We have to click on this login button. So let's identify the login button as well. If you see, we already have ID as login hyphen button. So I will just directly use ID. Control C. If I want to use ID, I can use like this, hashtag and ID. Even if you skip the tag name, that is also fine. So I will just use this CSS selector for ID, password field. So cy.get, in this CSS selector for login button, and now we have to click on this. So we have click method. So it will click on that button. So after clicking, it will get logged in. But how we can verify that we have successfully logged in? There should be some kind of a assertion, right? There should be some kind of a validation point to verify that we have successfully logged in. So what we can verify here is, let's say we can put any other validation that should verify that we have successfully logged in. So let's see, after logged in, I'm putting it standard user as value, password as a secret sauce. Then we will click on login button. and after clicking on login button, this screen comes. So what we will verify, we will check this Swag Labs text is present on the top or not. So first we have to again locate this element. So I will just highlight this element. If you see, what is the class name getting highlighted? The class name is app underscore logo that has the text as a Swag Labs. So we want to verify that this element, that is app underscore logo, this element should have Swag Labs as a text. If this text is present in the app logo, that means we have successfully logged in. Then only we can come to this screen. That will verify, that will validate our test case. So I will just identify. So class name, how we can identify? App underscore logo. So what is the syntax for class name? We have already seen. So cy dot get. For class name, we can directly use dot and class name. We can use tag name or we can skip the tag name as well. Dot app underscore logo. It will identify that element, and we have to find out, or we have to validate that it should have text as Swag Labs. If you see, it should have text as Swag Labs. So I will just copy this text. I will just copy this text, and we have one method for validation is we should put dot should. After dot should, we have to put have dot text. We have to put have dot text, and after have dot text, comma, and what value we are expecting? So we are expecting the value as Swag space labs. So this is the value we are expecting. If you find this value, that means we have successfully logged in. So this will validate our test case. So I am just saving it. So now we have written the test case. We have written the test case. Now we want to execute the test case. Now we can execute the test case via terminal. So I will just execute the test case via terminal. So I will just go on terminal, new terminal. And what is the command which we have to use? I will use npx cypress run, npx cypress run, and I want to run only this specific file. So for that we have seen what is the command, hyphen spec space. After that we have to provide its relative path. So it will pass the relative path, and we have to run it on Chrome browser in UI mode. So what is the command after that? So we have to provide / browser. Which browser? Chrome. And we have to run it on UI mode. If you don't provide hyphen headed, so you have to provide hyphen headed as well. Then only it will run in actual UI browser. Otherwise it will run in headless mode. So this command will run this specific file on Chrome browser in headed mode. So I will just press enter now. Let's press the enter. So now it should launch the browser and it should execute this test case. It should launch the browser and it should execute the test case on Chrome browser in headed mode. So now it is launching the browser. It is now starting the execution. It is launching the Chrome browser. If you see on the left side, it is showing the test case name, the spec file which we have created, and it is performing the test case. So it is logging, it is opening the web page. It is passing the username password. It clicked on login and it quickly verified the title as well. If you see, it is showing all specs passed. That means our test case get passed. It successfully verified. After passing login password, clicking on login button, it verified that this title is Swag Labs. So what I will do now, instead of Swag Labs, what I will pass here, I will intentionally pass incorrect value. So instead of Swag Labs, I am passing some random text value. Random text. So now what will happen? It will identify that logo element it will check that it is whether it is having the text as this or not. So it will check whether the text is present like this or not. But in actual execution, it will find as Swag Labs. So both will mismatch. So now it will mismatch with our expected value. So that should fail the test case. If you see, that should fail the test case. So what I will do, I will just save this file. Let's file, save, or you can use Control S. It will save the file and now again execute this file. So this time the test case should fail now. You can press the up arrow on your keyboard. So we can easily see our previous command, which we don't have to again write that. Just you can use top arrow and down arrow on our keyboard. So it will show the all the commands which we have executed. So again we have to execute this command. So I'm just again executing it. But this time the test case should fail because this value will not match with actual value of that post login screen. So now it should fail that test case. So it is launching the browser now. On Chrome it is launching. It is loading the test case. It will open the browser. It will successfully log in. But after login, it will mismatch the value of that title of that page. Not the title, but the top value, which is Swag Labs. So now it is logging in. If you see Swag Labs, now it will fail the test case. If you see on the left side, it actually shown that test case is failed. If you see 1 out of 1 test case failed. If you scroll above, it will also show why it is failed. If you see expected and actual, so it was actually expecting this value. We have provided this value in our script, but in reality the value which it has captured is Swag Labs, but we are comparing that value with our this value. So both are mismatching. That's why our test case got failed. So this is the simple example or simple test case in which we have seen how to use CSS locators. In this we have seen how to use CSS locator. And one more thing I would like to inform you that if you remember, we have added one line at top of our script. In our spec file, we have added this line so that we can get all the methods and variable directly available while typing cy dot. So we have to write this line in every spec file. We have to write this line in every spec file. But if you want to avoid that, writing it in every spec file, what we can do is we can simply write this line by using Control X. I am just removing this line from this spec file and I will put that line in our Cypress folder in our project. There is a support. Inside support, there is a command.js, and in this command.js file, we can just paste this. So if you add this line in command.js file, it will be applicable for all the spec files. So once you write it in this file, you don't have to write specifically in every spec file now. So it will be, you need not to write in every spec file that specific line. Even now if you see, we can get all those suggestions. cy dot now also you can get all those suggestions, like all the methods, all those things we can access it now. So we can put that line in our which files, in support command.js. So these are the things. Let's revise one more time. So this is the line which you have to put in our command.js file in support. So we have seen how to use CSS selectors, right? So by default, Cypress supports CSS selector and XPath. XPath is not directly supported, but via using Cypress XPath plugin, we can use XPath as well. That we will see in coming session. But by default, Cypress supports CSS selector locators. and which command cy.get, in which we have to pass the value of CSS selector. We can create the CSS selector by using any one of these combination: tag and ID, tag and class, tag and attribute, tag class and attribute. And in this, tag value is optional. If you don't provide tag name, that is also fine. We have also seen examples: tag and ID, tag and class, tag and attribute, tag class and attribute combination. So thank you for watching this video. In coming session, we will see how we can use XPath in our scripts.